Sadistic Penguin Studios presents It's Getting Drafty in Here.
Drafty old barn.
The show of drafting random nonsense.
I choose business ethics.
And now, coming to you from his basement, a.k.a. Draft Headquarters, your host and draft master, Magnificent Stan.
Hello, welcome to episode 40 of It's Getting Drafty in Here. I am your host, Magnificent Stan, otherwise known as Brian. Today is Tuesday, March 19th, 2024. And today we're going to be running it back with a draft that we did last year that worked out really well. We had a lot of fun, so we're going to do it again. We're going to be picking our fantasy MLB team for the year here. Joining me today is Sox Machine's very own Josh Nelson. How are we, Josh?
I'm doing great. Hoping to repeat my dominant performance last year with my team.
You're about to find out exactly how dominant that was because I did some numbers. Also joining us today is from CHGO, our boy Herb Lawrence. What's going on, pal?
Nothing much. Thanks for having me on again. And I don't want to look at those results from last year. Can we just skip that?
It wasn't bad for you. It wasn't bad on your end. It wasn't, I promise. So real quick before we do start, this is the draft from last year. So this was what we came up with. Josh's we were actually just in pre-show just talking about how good Josh's team wound up being. Just his outfield and DH alone just curb stomped my team. So that's what we had last year. And then here are just really crude. I did like a little quick total. I took the B war of all the position players. I didn't do pitchers because I didn't think it was fair with Ohtani being drafted. So Josh had a cumulative war of 43.7. Herb was 37.8. So not bad, Herb. And then I was at 27.6. So thank you, Byron Buxton and Eloy Jimenez. So that's what we got there.
All of our teams were 5x at least better than the 2023 White Sox. So at least we got that going for us.
That works out. Hey, I had one of those White Sox on my team, and probably why it looks like you took me out to the shed, you know. But all right, so let's get moving with the draft. So again, just real quick, it's all positions plus a starting pitcher and a closer. Josh, you won the lottery.
I know, lucky me. I am going to go with someone that I had last year. I'm going to go with Juan Soto. Here is my bold, borderline hot take. I think Juan Soto is going to win the Triple Crown in the American League. He's a very motivated player. He's made it well known to the Yankees. This is a 1-year type of relationship that he has before testing free agency. And Herbie, with that short porch in right field, like I'm envisioning like a 38 homer, 125 RBI, hitting like 320 type of season from Juan Soto. And a lot of people would say 38 homers, maybe that doesn't lead the American League in home runs, but you got Aaron Judge already complaining about abdominal issues. And I'm looking up and down this entire American League, and Yordan Alvarez is now injured as well for the Houston Astros. Where are the home runs? It seems like all the home runs went into the National League. So I don't know if anyone's going to hit 40 homers in the American League. Maybe that's another hot take, but I feel pretty good about Juan Soto not only winning the Triple Crown, but being the American League MVP frontrunner.
Couldn't agree more. I mean, on a walk year, about to get broke off this offseason. And that, like you said, that short porch in Yankee Stadium is very, very enticing for him. I know they kind of have one in Petco Park, but that park and the parks that he used to play in for the NL West are cavernous. He's going to enjoy playing in Baltimore. He's going to be enjoying playing in Boston, hitting the balls off the wall for left center field. Yeah, I think he's going to have an excellent year out there in New York, especially I don't know if people believe necessarily in protection, but if Aaron Judge is in the lineup and if Giancarlo Stanton's in the lineup, who you throwing to? You going to pitch to Juan Soto?
Right, he's gonna hit right in front of Judge, right? If Judge is healthy, he's gonna probably hit second, and Judge will hit third, right?
Yeah, good luck.
What are you gonna do?
Pray. That's what you're gonna do.
Right. But what's funny is the rest of the lineup. It's there's nothing there. Except for Glaber, I guess Glaber.
I'm wondering what they're gonna get from Verdugo there. Yeah. Clean shaven Verdugo. He's not gonna be a superstar or anything like that, but I think he'll turn into something that the Yankee fans will appreciate.
Yeah, like 15, 20 homers. They need a defense, right?
Right.
If Soto, have they decided, is Soto going to be left or right field? I don't even know if they know, because Aaron Judge is supposed to be their center fielder.
Correct.
They really need Judge to be healthy. They really do.
Absolutely. And Yumper brought up a good point. If Rizzo can come back strong, there's another one I didn't remember. But LeMahieu's been bad. All those guys. Volpe didn't really show much with the stick, but they might not need it. They got those two guys alone might be able to carry that offense.
They're gonna have to out-hit everybody because of the injury to Garrett Cole. Firstly, I saw Carlos Rodon pitch well the other day, and hopefully he can stay healthy and actually perform well as a Yankee. But yeah, they're gonna have to outscore teams this year, like 10-8.
Yeah, gonna have to pound these. All right, well, let's go at number 2 here. I'm going to go with just super solid every year. Very, very, very good. Started to slide around into the infield the last couple of years. I think he's the best player in the world. I'm going to go with Mookie Betts and play him at shortstop.
He's awful at shortstop. He's a very good player. I keep him at second.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a shortstop. But no, I listen, for fantasy purposes, you got to be ecstatic.
Right.
It's
a perfect match. Yeah, exactly. Perfect match just because of that.
Because in fantasy, you get outfield, utility, second base, and shortstop. You can plug them in 4 spots in your lineup. That's huge.
Yeah, you're getting Mookie Betts, and we're not necessarily. I know we're doing it WAR at the end of the year, but the offense is going to play, and if he eventually, which I agree with you, Josh, he's looked like a butcher at shortstop. Moving him from right to second, I understood that. He played second all coming up as a Boston Red Sox farmhand. But I understand that they needed to get a better shortstop and let Mookie just be that second baseman. He's already conceding a position that he's really good at as a Gold Glover in right field.
Mm-hmm. Is it out of necessity that they moved him? Is it because Lux?
Because Lux is terrible too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Gavin Lux, because watching Dodgers games, which shocking, they televise all their spring training games.
Oh,
what a
you can do that?
Concept. I guess so. Yeah, I guess that's allowed. I don't know what's going on with Gavin Lux. It seems like a yips. Something is on his mind. He's not playing as confident like he did before his knee injury. So I'm not sure what's going on. The Dodgers really could roll with Chris Taylor as their starting shortstop. This is supposed to be a 100-plus win team, and their middle infield is a huge question mark now. So the Dodgers are not perfect. There's definitely some kryptonite that's an internal issue that they got to figure out.
Yeah. Do they still have Rojas on the roster?
I don't even know. That's a good question.
I know he can't hit,
he's not
but
part of the equation right now.
Yeah. Wow. Do you guys know the answer to this one? Our guy Drew Bogues asked, can Mookie Betts be the second player to win a Gold Glove in outfield and infield?
Can you name the player to do it?
Name the only player that do it.
I would just say Craig Biggio would be the only one I can think of.
Chuck Knobloch outfield. Chuck Knobloch.
I can only think Robin Yount or Biggio.
Oh, Yount could be the one at shortstop and in center field.
Was it King Kelly? I'm just kidding.
Oh gosh. I'm gonna have to think about that one.
Former White Sox.
Impossible. There's no way they won the Gold Glove with the White Sox. Trace Thompson. No, I'm kidding.
Mike Caruso.
Oh, Grinderstead.
Darren Erstad. Okay, won at first base then?
In center field.
Interesting.
would have guessed that. But
That's a good one.
all right, Herbie, who you got, man? You got
you got your sandwich picks here.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to go with the best player in the National League. Of course, he won the National League MVP last year. Ronald Acuna Jr. is the outfielder. I mean, he's just scratching the surface. He's 26 years old now, or age 26 year, and just the sky is the limit. We're going to see him in Chicago. That's first week in versus the White Sox here at Guaranteed Rate Field in the second series. I can't wait to go to one of those games to see him dominate the White Sox pitchers.
I can't wait.
It's going to be a bloodbath.
So I
9 for 12, 5 stolen bases.
I bought the show this morning and I popped it on and I went to look up the Sox and the rankings for all the different categories. They were 30th in everything. It was pretty fun. Laughing my ass off. But yeah, the pitching staff's going to be scary bad. All right. Herb, what do you got for your second one?
And I'm going to a player who I believe is, if not the best player in the AL Central, but gonna be the best player in the AL Central by the end of the year. Bobby Witt Jr.
Oh, shit.
Like his stolen bases, his premium position. He's just learning the game, and I think that Bobby Witt Jr., if it's not for him or Royce Lewis, like I don't know who it is. I know people will say Luis Robert Jr., but Bobby Witt Jr. is a thing, and those Kansas City Royals are continuing to be a thorn of our side. Too bad we can't get this Royal on the White Sox eventually, like in 15 years.
They'll probably still be pretty good at that point.
I like that pick because Bobby Witt's got a chance to be a 6-7 WAR type of player, Herbie. So that's a good one. I like that one a lot.
Paul of the Jong.
He's hitting the ball well in spring training.
Yeah.
But we know that's not going to translate.
Right. I was actually the whole all spring I've been saying, hey, Shoemake's going to be the opening day short, but not going to happen.
Nope.
All right. I'm going to actually go grab my pitcher now because I feel like there's one pitcher that heads above all of them, and that's Spencer Strider. I looked up on Fangraphs I took the last 2 years cumulative WAR, and he's second behind one pitcher, but he threw like 50 to 75 less innings, and he still has the most wins and the highest WAR. So I'm going to go Spencer Strider. I don't think there's an argument for any other pitcher at this point, right?
Pitchers are so tough because it's like, who's going to be healthy?
Right.
Yeah, like, spoiler alert, I'm probably going to use my last pick on pitcher because I got no idea who's gonna survive to be good all season is a big question.
Eric
all right. So that leaves it to me. Yeah. So do I get back-to-back picks?
Yeah, you got sandwich. Yep.
All right. I'm going to take my catcher, Adley Rutschman. So if it's not Juan Soto, I think Juan Soto is the American League MVP favorite. I think Adley Rutschman is second, where he could have that like Buster Posey effect. And I think he already has on a Baltimore Orioles team that may win 100+ games again this year because they're just uber talented. And I'm going to go to third base and skip over shortstop. I may regret this, but going to third, I'm going to take Jose Ramirez, who has been just the most consistent player, especially in the American League Central, one of the most consistent in the American League. And the reason I'm taking Ramirez now is the bat. A projection system, very handy, very useful when it comes to fantasy baseball, is projecting that Jose Ramirez will be the 8th most valuable player in this upcoming season. And you're looking at someone, even as he gets older, could produce a 30-30 season.
Yeah.
More than 5 WAR. And if that's what we're grading here, if that's what we're judging, trying to get as many wins as possible, I'm liking my team right now at third. I know there are options, but I'm liking how I'm starting here.
I think he's the undisputed king of third base now. I mean, Machado, I guess maybe, but yeah, I mean, I agree. He's also got the best right cross. Glancing right cross in the AL Central. So, yeah, that's a good pick there. He has, over the last 2 seasons, he has the 5th highest F4. So, yeah, definitely.
I mean, Jose Ramirez is just the consummate professional. Every time I see him, I'm like, why is he still in the Cleveland Guardians? I hate him.
Right.
Shouldn't have signed that extension.
Yeah.
Should have went
And
somewhere
it was a
else.
cheap extension, too. It was a really, really affordable extension.
Like a jerk. He wanted to stay in Cleveland, the first person ever. And now he's going to terrorize the White Sox for a couple more years. But that's a great pick. I mean, the guy is just phenomenal.
Switch hitter, slide him over to second if you really want to. He could still probably play the spot pretty well. He's got a weird body for a guy who hits so heavy. You know what I mean? Like he's a little short. He's a little dumpy looking a little bit, you know. But I guess that's perfect for a third baseman, you know?
Yeah, if you saw him probably on the street, you're like, that guy is one of the best players in baseball? Come on now. I'm taller than him.
All right. I am going to start working on my outfield here. I'm going to go with Julio Rodriguez.
Damn.
Yeah, he started off pretty rough last year, and by the end of the year, he was unbelievable. So, second half of last year, he just kept hitting, and he can already play the field. He runs really well. He has 5 tools you're going to get. He's Acuna. I mean, he's pretty much the same guy. Might even be a little faster.
I don't think he's as aggressive though in the bases. I think that's the difference between Seattle and Atlanta. Seattle seems to be more calculated, where Atlanta's like, run free, Ronald.
Just do what you're going to do.
Run as much as your little heart desires. As long as your right knee holds up, we don't care. Like, I think that's the difference, at least fantasy-wise, between Acuna and Rodriguez. Like, yeah, I don't think Rodriguez is going to have 50 stolen base attempts.
No.
Where Acuna could have 70 stolen base attempts if that right knee's feeling okay. But, like, power numbers and the defense edge goes to Julio because he plays center field. But, yeah, I agree with you. Like, that's a good comp. Like, those two are pretty even.
Julio's walk rate is kind of shitty, but that's another thing. Acuna's is pretty epic. So, or at least it was last year.
And Julio, the fact that he's putting up those numbers where his home ballpark is Seattle, it's incredible.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
That place is not hitter friendly, but he's still doing work out there. Yeah. It's my turn for 2 picks. Wow.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to keep my junior thing going and go to San Diego. If you didn't name your kid after you, I'm not picking you. So Fernando Tatis Jr.
What a great theme. I'm going to just take all junior.
You feel like my buddy Kevin. I don't know if you guys watched last week, but we did a historical draft very similar to this one, and his picks were all players named Greg. And me and Steve Niss are laughing because we caught his gig like right away. And Mitch Kaminsky was on with us. I don't think Mitch caught on that quick, and he was like looking around because like, why the fuck are you taking Greg Walker? This is the best players of all time, you know.
I mean, the man, 140 games last year, almost put up 6 WAR.
Yeah,
he's like didn't know he was that good. He was head and shoulders above every other right fielder as far as defensive runs saved last year. So that'll help him out with my
that was the thing that was surprising to a lot of people is how well he played out there. He was all over because shortstop was rough.
Yeah, we knew he had the arm, but we're like, is he going to be able to track balls out there? Did it with the greatest of ease.
Yep.
And of course, like his bat plays, and there's reasons for that, but it still plays. They're just not catching him right now. And I hope they never catch him again. But I'm going to break up my junior thing. I think maybe you would think I was going Luis Robert Jr. I'm not. I'm going to go for more stolen bases, and hopefully this guy doesn't have a sophomore slump. Corbin Carroll.
Oh, okay.
Close out my outfield. I'm Like, I'm just looking for premium hitting, speed on the bases. Glove is all right. Corbin Carroll's my guy.
So who plays center field in that trio there?
Out of those three, probably Fernando Tatis Jr. You keep Acuna with his arm in right
Carroll
field,
out and left,
and then Carroll in left. Yeah,
that's a lot of speed. All solid arms. Yeah, that's a good outfield right there, man. Those guys are gonna be running all over the damn place. All right. Well, we were talking about how he's already dealing with some injury stuff, but I'm going to go ahead and grab him because I think in the 4th round here, it's pretty good value. I'm going to go get Aaron Judge. So,
Yeah, the abdominal issue.
Stay healthy.
When you get an MRI in your abdomen, like, what's going on? Right? Like, is there something worse going on?
Yeah, and being that big too, like just all the stupid little things that'll happen. Were they planning on playing him in center field?
Yes.
They have to.
Verdugo, I think, is either in left or right. They may move him to right. Soto is awful defensively, no matter where you play him.
Correct. And then Stanton's got to be the DH.
Yeah,
when he plays
out there.
And then they have Gresham too.
They do.
Yeah, he's their 4th outfielder.
Wow.
So if Judge can't go on opening day, I think Gresham's going to be your starting center fielder for New York.
Yeah, makes sense. He's actually good out there.
All right, so I got back-to-back again.
Yes, sir.
I like this. All right, I'm going to go for home runs here. My DH, I'm going to go with Shohei Ohtani.
Okay. I forgot. I noticed I forgot to put
Yeah.
DH in here. So give me 1 second.
Yeah, I can get rid of closer. Nobody cares about closers.
Like seriously, could we skip closer?
Except for Rick Hahn.
Yeah, because
I'm actually okay with that.
And he don't got a job. Yeah, so Ohtani probably going to hit 40-plus homers this year for the Dodgers. What a great pairing. He was already a mega superstar. And I'm starting to buy into this, like, celebrity levels. Like, you have your B-list, right? Everyone talks about B-list celebrities, your favorites. But you got, like, C, B, and then your A-listers. But I'm starting to buy into a new tier, like the S tier, like the 1% of the 1%. And I think Ohtani is going to be like right up there with like Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo as like the most famous professional athlete in the world.
Yeah.
And
he's got that Michael Jordan appeal for sure.
He wasn't going to be that way with the Dodgers, with the Angels, I'm sorry. But now with the Dodgers, yeah, I think he's going to hit that tier. So I got Ohtani, and I think he had a monster season for the Braves last year. I'm going to go to first base. I'm going to go with Matt Olson.
That was my guy.
That was my next pick. So
who may hit another 50 home runs. And man, like, I'm so jealous of Atlanta in their team building where they just took advantage of Oakland, right? They got Sean Murphy and they got Matt Olson, and everyone was wondering, how can you let Freddie Freeman go? And what they got from Olson last year was a 6.7 WAR season with 54 homers and 139 RBIs.
Ridiculous.
Like, he could do that again. We're talking about a first baseman in Matt Olson who may hit over 100 home runs in back-to-back seasons. That's crazy. We haven't seen that in a long time, since the steroid era. Yeah. And I don't think he even needs it, especially in that ballpark in Atlanta. So, yeah, I got added some much-needed left-handed power. I kid, because everyone in my lineup could hit left-handed so far. Take notes, White Sox. So I'm loving my team so far.
Yeah, that's a lot. Just having Ohtani and Olson. Ohtani, Olson, Soto is just scary. I'm going to pivot. I was going to take Olson. I feel like this last year, the 4 best players in the National League, 2 were Dodgers, 2 were Braves. That one Dodgers left. That's Freddie Freeman.
Damn it.
Doesn't matter how old that guy gets, he still keeps going and he keeps hitting and he's doing his thing. So I'm gonna go Freddie Freeman. He has the second highest. I have the 1, 2, 3 highest FWAR cumulative over the last 2 years now. Freddie Freeman, Judge, and Mookie Betts. So I'm happy there. But yeah, that guy can swing, man. No, Yumper, I'm not taking Andrew Vaughn yet.
I mean, Freddie Freeman, just a ridiculous here last year, and barely anybody even like said anything. Like they're focused on, like you said, Matt Olson hitting his 54 home runs, and Mookie, his own teammate, and now his other teammate, Shohei Ohtani. Those people are going to overshine him and outshine him. And of course, tomorrow or later on today's starting pitcher, Tyler Glass. Now they're gonna be like, oh yeah, we got him and Yamamoto. And he's just going to go under the radar, hit 300, be on base at 40%, and slug somewhere in the 500s. Just a ridiculous, regular ass year for Freddie Freeman. Just ridiculous.
Oh
man, I wish it. Like you're talking about two teams that the White Sox should have been. The Braves, the White Sox should have been 100% because they did the deals of these players when they're young or before they started playing. And got it right. All their players pretty much hit. And the guy I'm going to pick is a guy that I just keep on getting mad every time I look at him because he's great, but the Braves got him for 7 years for like $35 million. And I want to fire his agent retroactively. So Ozzie Albies is my second baseman. Just, it's, when people talk about Yoan Moncada or they talk about Eloy Jimenez and how they signed those extensions and really hasn't worked out for the White Sox benefit. That is the opposite. Like they got a steal at the time they got the steal and they're still benefiting from him. I don't know what he's making this year, but it's somewhere like probably only $7 million and it's still ridiculous. He has a team option and for 26 and 27 and they're not a lot of money. And he's out here posting like a 5 WAR each year. So I'm so pissed that they have him. And then if we're going to stay with the Atlanta Braves, why not? Let's go down to third base. I mean,
nice.
You talk about the Atlanta Braves and getting other players from other teams. This one, they got this guy homegrown. Austin Riley.
I didn't even have to wait.
Just a beast there. This is embarrassment of riches. I can't believe these people are going to be here. Like, they're going to get all their numbers in the 3-game set versus the White Sox.
I just take the over. Yeah. Whatever the over is, whatever the run line is for the White Sox and Braves, just take the over because I'm pretty sure Atlanta's going to hit it by themselves. I'm going to look that up. What is the most runs allowed in a 3-game series? It's got to be up there because Baltimore, didn't they allow like 30 runs in a game to the Texas Rangers?
It's probably in the 50s, right? Like,
and theoretically, the Braves will get the White Sox 4th starter, 5th starter, and then Garrett Crochet, whatever that is.
Awesome.
So the 3rd game might be good. But it only might be good for 4 innings.
Maybe.
Yeah,
he doesn't walk anyone. Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, Josh. What do you think? Like, is he going to pitch more than 3 or 4 innings at the opener?
There's 2 ways that opening day can go. It could either be encouraging, in which he can command the fastball and he's maintaining velocity. He throws 60 pitches. He leaves the 4th inning. And you come away from that start thinking, okay, let's push him to 70, 75. Or it could be embarrassing in that last year, Garrett Crochet faced 20 Tigers batters, and he walked 7 of them. Mm-hmm. And if he exits the 2nd inning because he's at 50 pitches, everyone around baseball is going to make fun of the White Sox and point out on opening day, the Chicago White Sox used an opener. Like, what kind of team are they fielding? And they will be the joke of the league after the first day. So there's not much middle ground here. And I'm hoping that we see encouraging results from Garrett Crochet, but that totally depends on him And weather-wise, wear long sleeves, dude, because you're seeing one forecast at 60 degrees, which would be great for him. I'm seeing some forecast models in the low 40s, maybe high 30s. So it's not going to be a great weather day, or it could possibly be not a great weather day for Garrett Crochet on opening day. Herbie, I just don't see much middle ground here for Crochet. Either it's going to be outstanding and he keeps up with School Bowl for 3 or 4 innings, or it's Brian Shaw coming out in the second inning.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that's why I am just flummoxed on why they decided not only to make this decision to have him as a starter, to have him as a starter in general, but to have the extra added pressure of being the opening day starter, right, knowing he hasn't been stretched out properly. Like, theoretically, he could get through 5 innings only pitching 5 pitches or 50 pitches.
Why did, like, it doesn't hurt to send him to Charlotte for 3-4 weeks to get some work in beforehand. Like, I don't understand the whole, like, the thought process of, like, throwing him out there now. You know what I mean? Like,
because right now he's one of the 5 best starting pitchers. I don't think Brian Bannister likes any of the non-roster invitees the White Sox brought into camp. And they have 4 days left to make some decisions on those guys before they start cutting people. I'm hoping Nick Nastrini makes a team because he's been throwing one of the best. But, I mean, you're looking at a starting rotation of Eric Fetty, Chris Flexen, Mike Soroka, Nick Nastrini, and Garrett Crochet. I mean, that's a huge overhaul from last year. But this could have been – I don't know as a manager. Maybe Pedro really did believe Dylan Cease was not going to get traded. And then he got caught off guard when Chris Getz made that trade. And just the way that he was lining up and preparing his players for opening day, like Eric Fetty's on schedule for the second game of the season. I'm going to keep him on that schedule. We have that Friday day off. If it snows out, rains out, opening day gets moved to Friday. Right. Who is the guy that I can, move around? It's Crochet. He's a reliever. Or he's been a reliever. We can move him around. Let's give the young kid a shot. Like, I can understand as far as that line of thinking, but it's obviously not if you're a fan of the other 29 teams looking at the White Sox, you look at this situation, say, this team is not serious. And I think that's fair. That is fair criticism.
Fucking bloodbath, guys. All right. I'm gonna
take Garrett Crochet. Good pick.
I'm going to pull a little strategy here and make sure that Josh doesn't get the shortstop I think he wants to draft. I'm going to take my DH, and his name is Corey Seager. So I feel like Corey Seager has been the best left-handed bat, well, among the best left-handed bats in the game with Alvarez and Shohei. At least last year he was. As long as he can stay healthy, obviously.
So I get the back-to-back picks.
Yep.
And you did because I was looking at, I'm like, wow, the defending world champion middle infield, the $500 million middle infield is still intact. And I desperately need right-handed bats in my lineup. So I'm going to start with Marcus Semien at second base. And I'm going to go with Trey Turner at shortstop.
Yeah.
I can't think that Trey Turner is going to repeat his awful, and not even first half. What was it, Herbie? Like the first 3 quarters of the season?
Yeah.
And then they cheered for him, and then he finally started hitting.
It was like June when that happened.
Yeah.
And then suddenly he became dangerous again in the postseason. And my second bold hot take. So I said that Juan Soto is going to win the American League Triple Crown. I have the Phillies winning the National League pennant. They're not going to win the National League East. The Braves and Dodgers are the best built teams over a 162-game season. But Herbie and Brian, when you look at this Phillies team, in the postseason format, 3-game, 5-game, 7-game series, who wants to play these guys? Especially with Bryce Harper now healthy. Like, that lineup is dominant. You got Zach Wheeler and Aaron Nola back. That is a team that I don't think anyone wants to play in a short series. So even though, the Phillies are going to probably win 88 games this year, while the Braves and Dodgers are going to win more than 100. But when it comes postseason time, the Phillies are going to be my pick to win the National League pennant just because I think they're the team that's best built for the postseason, and Trey Turner's a big reason why for that.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't go. Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. I think Arizona is going to be that type of team too. It's going to win like 88, 90 games, and possibly
that
pull some
National
shit.
League, that National League West, all of a
gonna be
sudden
a
got
bloodbath.
a lot tougher. That's your phrase. That's your word of the day, bloodbath. You've been watching a lot of CNN, Fox News lately.
Of course, that's all I watch.
The West, like everybody except for the Rockies are like, okay, we're in
Right.
it. I mean, ultimately the Dodgers are going to win the division, and then the rest of the three are going to be battling for it.
Yeah, even the Padres. I was talking to a friend this morning. Even the Padres, they weren't that bad last year, and I feel like their pitching is better even without Snell.
I don't know if it's better.
Their bats, obviously, they lost Soto,
Waka, they lost Waka, and who else? The other guy that went to Kansas City. I'm forgetting his name right now, but I think their pitching staff might be slightly worse. Like King's good, and of course Dylan Cease is excellent. But I think Yu Darvish is taking a step back, even though he's kind of looked at as their ace, and he'll be pitching today versus the Dodgers. And I think that's going to be a bloodbath, Brian. But
hey, Joe Musgrove, let's not forget him either. Like,
San Diego
Padres have a solid front four. How motivated is Manny Machado and Tatis Jr.? Because if they feel jaded about what happened with Juan Soto getting traded, and if those two combined decide to take their game to another level, that's such a dangerous duo. Like, and the Diamondbacks are to be good. I think Blake Snell to the Giants is a wonderful pickup. Like, the Diamondbacks, Giants, and Padres are suddenly three teams that can have an above winning record, like win 82 plus games this upcoming season. And they got to take those wins away from somebody. So it won't be easy for the Dodgers in the National League West.
No, not at all. Yeah,
yeah. And you're talking about the Padres. I think they were like 1-12 in extra inning games. And
there was some bad luck. They had a 104 plus run differential last year. Like, they greatly underachieved.
Right.
So maybe if they have some good luck this year.
Well, in the middle infield, they swapped the two, and I think that's their better positions. I think Bogarts is going to be better at second, and I know Kim can play anywhere. So
the White Sox could use Kim.
Oh God.
Oh yeah, free agent coming up. Baby.
Bounce back year from Jake Cronenworth as well.
Yeah.
No, let's not get carried away.
Let's not get carried away.
Yeah, him moving to first base has really cost him at the bat with some points there. It's my turn, or is it?
No, it's mine.
Okay.
Yep. I took him last year. Going to take him again this year. I'm going to go Yordan Alvarez, another guy that just pounds the shit out of the ball.
That was going to be my designated hitter. Yeah.
I need to learn what happened today. It doesn't sound great for Alvarez.
Really?
Yeah. So
well,
watch. You took two guys like Judge and Alvarez. I mean, yeah, if everyone's healthy in Major League Baseball, yeah, you definitely want Judge and Alvarez. When Alvarez is healthy, I think is the most dangerous hitter in baseball because it does not matter if you're righty or lefty. Alvarez, gosh, he's just so phenomenal. He commands the strike zone, and he does not miss. If you throw a pitch in his wheelhouse, he will destroy you.
Right. And could you imagine what would have happened if the Dodgers never traded that guy?
Oh my God!
It's
probably don't need Ohtani, but they still would sign Ohtani. But
they would have never. They probably would never would have signed Freddie Freeman. They would have just put Alvarez at first base. You know. All right, Herb. You got two here.
I'm going to go to the positions that I don't have a player, and then I don't think one of those.
That's a good plan, usually.
Yeah, like I don't see the second guy for catchers taken, and the second guy for starting pitcher. So I'm going to go with those two categories. I'm going to go with JT Realmuto as my catcher. As
number one pick last year, remember?
Those Phillies, the man can put bats a ball, and he is still one of the premier catchers behind the dish. I know Adley has kind of passed him by because of the phenomenal couple of years he's had, but give me some JT Realmuto behind the plate. I'll be smooth as hell. And then I'm going to stay out in that area, in the Eastern area, even though he plays in probably what is the toughest division in baseball. I'm going to go Corbin Burns on his walk here and see if the guy rises up to the level that I think he can and goes and pitches in that division and dominates. And so he gets paid this offseason. And since it's a walk year, there's no better time to see in that ballpark, especially in left field, that the wall's way back.
Right.
Corbin Burns, I think, will still be the good pitcher that he was in Milwaukee. Good to great pitcher in Milwaukee.
Yeah, I think his stuff plays everywhere. He's just good. He's just good all the time. Okay, so I gotta go here. Well, I'm blocked in. I don't really have to formulate any type of strategy at this point because you guys have taken the 3 spots I still need. So, well,
You're welcome.
I took Jordan last year. I took Jordan this year. I'm gonna probably do it with. I'm gonna do it with one of his teammates here and go Jose Altuve, second base.
I want to hate the guy, and I do, but he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Probably go down as one of the best, if not the best second baseman of all time when he does retire.
It's not. I don't even think. I mean, definitely the best second baseman in the last 20, 30 years, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There's nobody you can really argue.
Clearly,
Robbie.
Nick Magical never did watch any Jose Altuve film. I've never seen someone so little just dominate high pitches up in the zone.
Yeah.
And that's where you got to attack Altuve is with high fastballs, but it's such a dangerous proposition because when he gets on top of it, it just jumps off the bat.
It's a freak,
Exactly.
man. Yeah.
So I got Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're good, Josh. Go ahead.
So I got back-to-back here. I got
Yes, sir.
outfielders, right?
Mhm.
Okay. I usually take him no matter what year it is or fantasy baseball. I like Kyle Tucker. I like Kyle Tucker a lot.
Yeah.
It's going to be a quiet 30-homer, 100 RBI season for Kyle Tucker. Probably steals 25 bases. Nobody ever thinks about him until they look at a WAR leaderboard and realizes that he's easily in the top 10 in the American League when it comes to wins above replacement because he's just overshadowed by everybody else talent-wise in the Houston Astros. But he's such a pivotal member in their lineup. And I'm going to go with the White Sox here. I'm going to go with Luis Robert Jr. I am one that believes Luis is going to play more than 145 games this season. He's going to hit more than 30 homers this year. And he's going to stick out in a great way where, he's going to be the only White Sox player, I think, going to have a better than 2 WAR season in 2024. And we're going to
– oh, come on.
July,
Maldonado?
might get negative 2 WAR. But everyone in July is going to be like, so what would it take to trade for Luis Robert? Somebody trade for Luis Robert and get him off this White Sox team.
It makes sense. We're just wasting the dude's prime. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah. Yumper, with your question with Robert, I think the asking price would be astronomically high that no team would be willing to meet it.
Right.
And this isn't like a Dylan C situation. Like if Robert, again, puts up the first half like he did last year, and he's on pace to hit 30-plus homers, I just don't think teams are willing to part. Like, it would take 3 top 100 prospects to even get the White Sox to take your offer seriously to trade Luis Robert. And there are some teams in Major League Baseball that don't even have 3 top 100 prospects. So right now, I think the cost is too high because he's got so many years of control left. But in a couple of years, it's a different type of conversation.
Yeah. I think Baltimore would be the only team I could think of that would have the prospect capital
Yes.
To give up and still have a really good system.
By the way, Luis Robert is hitting 9th in my lineup. Like, just looking at my lineup right now, Luis Robert is hitting 9th.
You wouldn't.
Yes, Turner's a first. You got Soto probably second. God damn it! Yeah, he is. Marcus, he's in in front of Marcus Semien.
No.
Yeah, he is.
No. I gotta keep.
I want to point something out.
This is the second number 2 hitter. All right.
Hang on a second.
Have you not heard the infinite wisdom of Pedro Grifal, Herbie? You got to be willing to sacrifice yourself and lay down the bunt, man.
I would lead off with Kyle Tucker. He's got a better on base percentage, and he's stolen almost as many bases as Trey Turner has over the last 2 years.
I may have Juan Soto bat leadoff for me. And
get on base. What the hell?
420 on base percentage.
Just staring at the pitcher all the game.
Opposing teams 9-1-2 is coming up. It's going to be Robert, Soto, and Semien.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he's batting 9th in my lineup.
Yeah, that's for me. It's a 4.
Like, I would have thought every batter comes up like Semien would hit 9th, but
I'm trying to find the guy I'm pitching to. I'm pitching to Trey Turner.
Yeah, you have to, right?
Yeah,
it's probably batting 8th.
He's probably gonna bunt for a single. I'm gonna be pissed off even more.
All right. I am gonna go catcher. Herbs threw a curveball. I wanted to take Real Muto. I'll go Sean Murphy. What the hell?
Yeah, that's a good pick. Speaking of someone that bats 8th, 9th in a lineup.
Yeah.
The Braves lineup is so stupid. Like, Sean Murphy bats 8th in their lineup. Sean Murphy would easily bat 3rd in the White Sox lineup.
Easily. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, 129 WRC plus last year. Yeah, for a catcher, that's fucking nuts.
For a cleanup, he's
365 on base yeah.
I'd like to also point out the Braves, while they have rated the Oakland A's, they've also rated the White Sox, and they got a lot of White Sox in their team this day.
Hey, their number 5 starter, Raylo.
Yeah. Like, so it always confuses me. Like, we have talent here, but that talent doesn't show itself because other teams want it. The Braves are clamoring for Aaron Bummer. They're like, oh yeah, that's what we need. And 35-year-old Chris Sale.
Yeah, Roster Resource has Sean Murphy as the projected number 7 hitter for the Braves this year because they have Acuna, Albies, Riley, Olsen, Marcell Ozuna is still around, Michael Harris.
Yeah. See, people forget about Michael Harris is fucking great too.
That great first.
Ozuna was awesome last year. I don't want to give him any credit because he's a dickhead, but
Murphy, Kelnick. I forgot they have Jared Kelnick and Orlando Arcia is their short.
Is Ozuna still on the plane coming here to sign with the White Sox?
Hector Gomez.
I've gotten into it. Hector Gomez like 4 or 5 times on Twitter. And every time I just mentioned Ozuna plane, and he stops talking. All right, Herb, your last 2.
All right, I'm gonna go for my first baseman, Cody Bellinger. I wanted the White Sox to sign him, not as a first baseman, as a right fielder.
Yeah,
a couple of years ago, and then they're like, "No, we're not going to do that. We're going to go and get who they get the fucking AJ Pollock, or no, last year
Benintendi.
Benintendi. They chose him instead of Cody Bellinger. What dicks? And then Bryce Harper is my designated hitter.
Love that.
Cody he's got a couple opt outs, so he could still ball out and get his money again if he feels like he's getting underpaid. And Bryce Harper is playing first base, shoulders healthy, elbows healthy, crushing home runs and learning a new position at first base, and did well last year. I think the guy is just a generational talent that's going to keep on getting better and better and better, which is insane. He's only like 31.
I don't have a problem watching Fernando Tatis Jr. play. I have a problem watching Harper play because of how easily we could have possibly had that fucking.
Oh yes.
Like it's hard to watch. Like it's.
Can I get on my soapbox for a minute about that?
Please. I want
So
you to.
you dress up the United Center, right? Those images got leaked. You paid someone to do a promotional video. You fly out to meet Bryce Harper. You go through the song and dance, and you don't make an offer. You practice. You practice a sales pitch
Are you Allen
to Bryce
Iverson?
Harper. The White Sox haven't had a right fielder to generate more than one WAR since Avisail Garcia did in 2017. I like Dominic Fletcher. I'm praying that the platoon of Kevin Pillar and Dominic Fletcher could be worth at least one WAR. But last year, the White Sox right fielders combined to be negative 3.8 WAR. And Bryce Harper, who couldn't throw the fucking baseball, I'm sure could have generated more than negative 3.8 WAR in right field for the White Sox in 2023. That is why I think Rick Hahn and Kenny Williams can never, ever have a front office job. Just that story. Like, how could you go through all the motions and not make an offer? And you use that as practice or play. So when the time comes up again, you'll have that opportunity. It was just a complete misread of the market. And those guys don't always come out in free agency. And what? You're hoping that Juan Soto, Mr. Jerry Reinsdorf, before hiring Chris Katz, said that he would never give a 10-year contract to someone. So all of this on a dance and all this effort went to waste. It's just anybody else in the fucking Milky Way galaxy that works at a sales job, if they did what Rick Hahn and Kenny Williams did with all that effort and all that money to spend to practice a sales pitch, their asses would have been fired instantly. Instantly. It is the dumbest thing ever. And if there's ever a book, if these walls could talk, the White Sox version, I need an entire chapter on what the hell happened there. Because Harper admitted in February when spring training started that the White Sox never made an offer.
Just
sorry for
ridiculous.
cussing on your podcast, but it is one of the stupidest things ever.
Don't worry about that.
No problem. I mean, it was perfectly said. I just don't believe, like you said, you have very few times when you have young talent available that is good money to spend. Mm-hmm. Think about both of those contracts now. The 13-year, $333 million. It's a steal. You're both paying Yohan Moncada almost that.
Well, Machado's already opted out and went back in for more, right?
Yeah. And so, I say it all the time. Like, Juan Soto is a person that you should do that for. Last year with Shohei Ohtani, you should have did that for. But I know the White Sox are never going to do that. They're going to go for mid-level people, and that's why they get mid-level to lower performance. Right. Get me a superstar in here. Luis Robert Jr. is one, but we know in 4 years from now, he'll be gone. So get me a superstar in here to replace him. And Juan Soto would be the guy. I know that's not going to happen, but that would be the guy that I would put all the effort in and do exactly what you said, Josh. Like, put the sales pitch out there, put the money out there. If it's got to be a blank check, it's got to be a blank check. I know theoretically, no one really puts out a blank check, but you say, what do you want? Put the number down.
I think the Dodgers put out a blank check.
And then they deferred all the money because Shohei said, this is what I want to help the team out. So you never know if they're going to come to you because he almost went to Toronto. Did anybody think he would even come that close to Toronto last year? And he did because they asked and they put up a good-ass offer. I don't think anybody in Toronto is like necessarily lamenting their owner or their general manager's effort in there. He just chose to a place that everybody thought he was going to go to. And that's what the White Sox need to do. If Chris gets us worth anything, he'll at least say, fuck you, Jerry. If anybody we're got to go after for a 10-plus year deal is this guy, Juan Soto. And if we're going to try to steal some money from these taxpayers, you know what's a good way to do that? Sign a really expensive player that they want to come and see at your new stadium that they're going to build for you.
Great point, Kevin. Using some Major League Baseball front office math. In 5 seasons, including the 2020 shortened season, Manny Machado has generated over 20 WAR for the San Diego Padres. And teams are usually paying about $8 million for 1 WAR. the Padres have paid Manny Machado $125 million so far during his tenure, and he has generated $160 million worth of value on the field. The Padres are coming out ahead so far, despite spending all this money on Manny Machado. Like, yeah, just so stupid, so dumb.
And a couple of those years were down years for Manny, and he's still providing so much.
Yeah,
so
even
much work.
last year he wasn't great. But yeah, I mean, he's still.
He had like off-season shoulder or elbow surgery, and he's
still
like
hit 30 homers.
Elbow, yeah, exactly. A casual 30 while hurt.
In San Diego, out of all places. Like, yeah, spending money can work when it's not on relievers. God. Now you're gonna be pissed.
Give me another one.
I was trying to turn a new leaf.
Well,
there's a new front office. I'm trying to move on.
We'll go from being sad to being happy. Right now, there are 770 people watching this show, and I don't think I've ever had that many watching at one time. So thank you.
Welcome, everyone. Sorry that I cussed on this podcast.
Please cuss more, Josh. I don't fucking care. Please.
Maybe Rickon will send me a whiny text message reminding everyone that at one point he was a Sporting News MLB Executive of the Year.
Oh, God.
No fucking way.
All right, I still have a third baseman to pick. I was going to go Manny Machado, but I changed my mind. I already have 2 Astros. I might as well go with a third one. I'm going to go Alex Bregman.
Okay.
He's just solid, man. Just solid. Gets on base. Plays the position well. Does everything right. Including cheating, but we'll talk about that another time.
And I think this is his walk year too.
Yeah, that was another consideration. And I was going to mention too, by the way, Herb, when you said throwing money at Soto, I don't think they're going to throw money at Soto, but I do think they're going to throw money at one of your draft picks, and that's Corbin Burns.
The White Sox?
Yes, do it.
No,
I know that's a pitcher. He would want 9 years. Just
looking at all the trades and moves they've made, everything's gearing towards if they're going to spend money, it's on hitting.
Yeah,
because they've just been doing nothing but grabbing young pitchers.
If they spend money,
right. Exactly.
let's see how this season goes. All right, so it's up to me. My starting pitcher I've been dreading because I'm just looking at these projections. Maybe this is a surprise, but he's the only one that I feel confident that he's going to make 30 starts this year. And I think the ballpark is going to work in his favor. I'm going to go with Dylan Cease. I think this is a great pickup for the San Diego Padres. I thought Cease was going to be bouncing back anyways for the White Sox this season. And I think he was going to get closer to his 2022 self. The Padres figured out a way to work with Blake Snell, and I think there's a lot of similarities between Cease and Snell. And Snell won the Cy Young last year with the Padres. So maybe, again, out of all, my biggest concern coming into this season is health for starting pitchers. And if I'm trying to build a team to accumulate the most WAR, I need a pitcher that I'm confident will make 30-plus starts, and that's why I'm going to go with Dylan Cease.
Makes
sense.
You
guys know who has the highest F-WAR for a pitcher the last cumulative over the last 2 years?
Garrett Cole?
No.
Kevin Gausman.
It is Kevin Gausman, yeah. 11 over the last 2 years. Yeah, it's Gausman, Spencer Strider, then Nola, Wheeler. Wheeler was my backup pick if someone took Strider. I was going to go Wheeler just because same reason you have, Josh. The guy's just consistent all the time.
I hate that he re-signed there.
So. Yeah, Wheeler, Gallen, Verlander, Webb, Framber Valdez, Alcantara, and then Garrett Cole was 10th. Cease was 11th. So, yeah. All right. So, one question I had.
It's such a Dave Dombrowski move, Herbie.
All right. One question I have: do you guys have a rookie that you guys are going to keep an eye on? Guy that you think is going to really catch on with the league this year?
I haven't thought about that.
I'm just gonna say any one of like the 9
Well-
Baltimore Orioles ones.
I mean,
No, I
they say Holiday's going to be the truth. I mean, he looks like the truth. I mean, they said that Rutschman's going to be the truth. He was. Gunnar Henderson, they said is going to be the truth. He is. So, and they said he might be the best of the 3. So I'm looking forward to him mashing. I actually watched a thing with his dad and his little brother doing home run derby at their college. And man,
His
kid's
swing
got a
is
sweet
beautiful.
ass
Yeah.
swing.
Yeah.
I mean, like most lefty swings, but a lefty power bat, baby. Middle infield too. Let's go.
For my pick, I had to check, and he is still a rookie. I'm going to go with Evan Carter, the Texas Rangers. Watching last year's postseason, it's like the White Sox need Evan Carter. The White Sox needed Evan Carter. The White Sox needed Evan Carter. God damn it, the White Sox needed Evan
Well,
Carter.
and doesn't Texas have another rookie outfielder that's going to be
Wyatt
wide receiver
Langford.
for some reason? Yeah, Langford.
Yeah,
Okay.
Wyatt Langford is coming up, and he was a monster at Florida last year. He's been a monster. I mean, that draft class has a chance to be one of the best draft classes in recent memory. But before the postseason, in 23 games for the Rangers, I mean, Evan Carter was worth, in 23 games, keep in mind, 1.6 WAR.
Ridiculous.
Evan Carter, in 23 games, would have been the 3rd most valuable White Sox position player last year.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
in the postseason,
can we all just blow our brains out right now? Jesus Christ.
in the postseason, in 17 playoff games last year, Carter hit 300 with a 417 on base percentage and slugged 500. And he just came up big for the
a
Texas
rookie
Rangers.
in the playoffs putting those numbers up is insane.
Right. And
Yeah.
I think Texas pitching-wise may take a step backwards unless they decide to convince themselves and do sign Jordan Montgomery. The Texas Rangers were serious about trying to acquire Dylan Cease to help out with the starting rotation, and they ended up losing, obviously, to the San Diego Padres in that trade. But, I mean, you could have an outfield for Texas, Evan Carter, Adalis Garcia, who I also love watching. And
another guy who makes like nothing too. Like they could keep him forever.
And Wyatt Langford and
oh my God,
Josh Young and Corey Seager and Marcus Simeon and why am I forgetting the first baseman? Nathaniel Lowe.
And then Heim at catcher.
And it's just like,
yeah, it's scary.
That lineup is just so awesome. The American League West is going to be fun. Houston's going to be great. Texas will be good. Seattle will be really good. And who knows in the American League Central? That's just the way it kind of feels coming into this season. American League East, great storylines. American League West, great storylines. American League Central. Will 79 games win this division?
Yeah.
It might. It might.
That's definitely the question, because the Twins are like, we like winning the division. It was great. But, we also like cost savings. Buy everybody who's kind of good. Get off of my team. We're going to be – and we still are the prohibitive favorites to win this AL Central. So why pay more? What did they shed, like $30 million off of their payroll, if not more? Or I think maybe, like the White Sox shed like $50 million off of theirs. And they're like, we can shed all this payroll and still have Royce Lewis, if he's healthy, dominate. Yep. Bryce Buxton or Byron Buxton dominate if he's healthy, which is not going to happen. He's never healthy, and still win this division by a good 3-4 games.
Well, and they had some guy. They keep pulling guys that just keep performing too, like that dude that they had at second base, Juilliard.
Oh yeah, Julian. Yeah,
that guy's good. He gets on base. He hits crazy line drives. He plays like 4 positions.
Yeah, and one of those lefty anomalous twins.
Kirilov and
do something.
Is Kepler
Matt
next?
Wallner?
Yeah, Kepler.
Well, Wallner was good last year too. He was a rookie last year, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to answer my own question too. The dude from the Brewers, Jackson
Churio.
he made the team. They're gonna play him. Obviously, you can't not play.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how well he's so young. I don't know how well he's gonna produce the first year, but if he does, that guy's gonna be a beast. So that was my answer to that one. Yeah. So I think we're gonna.
Who's gonna be the worst player in the league? I have your bias.
I have a feeling. I mean, I have a feeling the Tigers might say go away to him pretty soon.
That's so much money.
It doesn't matter. Like he's a negative player. Like what do you do at that point? But he's more valuable off the team than he is on.
Just think about those Cubs, except for like Schwarber, all of them has sucked.
Yeah.
And a little bit of Rizzo, but he's hurt now. So like Chris Bryant is a shell of himself.
Yeah, when Jason Hayward is the one that produced the best out of the group last year.
Like who would have thought?
Yeah. No idea.
Like all those prospects hit, and then when they get to free agency, they get paid, and then they suck out loud. Man, the Colorado Rockies should be looked into for having one of the worst businesses in the world. They trade away Nolan Arenado for pennies on the dollar. Actually pay.
No, they paid to get rid of him,
to take him. And then the next year, after they get rid of Trevor Story or don't not re-sign Trevor Story, they're like, let's pay a bunch of money to Chris Bryant so he can not play for us at all. At
to be fair about Trevor Story, he hasn't been good either. So
no, he has not. But their moves were inconsistent.
Nonsense. Yeah,
like just if you're gonna do that, keep Chris Bryant and keep all the rest of the good players that you had. And now they're, as we're talking about the NOS, not even being thought of. That's a free money game right there. You put that down as a free space when you go out to play Colorado.
They still got Charlie Blackmon though, man. They're still in the game. But all right. Well, let's wrap this one up. I really appreciate you guys being on. Josh, you want to plug anything?
We have our live podcast at the Remova show at the Remova Theater next Wednesday. The 11th Ward Alderman, we're going to be making that announcement here momentarily. Nicole Lee will be joining our live show. We'll have other special guests as well as we continue to make those announcements as we get closer. Doors open at 7 o'clock. Show starts at 8 o'clock. And, of course, our friends from the 108 will be ending the show as well. You can buy tickets at removatheater.com.
Sweet. I wanted to go, but I'm going to be stuck at work. But I'll be there I'll be at the home opener, so. All right, Herb, you got anything you want to plug, bud?
Oh yeah. Next Thursday for opening day, we are doing a broadcast from 12 to 1, and then staying around for the game that starts at 3 o'clock at Ballpark Pub, 514 West Pershing. Got great food, Line and Kugel specials. So come on out. RSVP on our website, allchgo.com, and it'll be Sean Anderson and myself out there just talking about Garrett Crochet versus Tariq Skubal.
Battle of the Titans. All right. Well, don't forget to like and subscribe to the Stick Penguin Studios. We will be back with It's Getting Drafty in here in 2 weeks. We are doing, actually, Herb will appreciate this one. We are doing a 90s albums draft. So I'm gonna have Southside Bum, Johnny, and Tony from Sadistic Penguin Studios from the Hookup on Music will be on, and we're gonna add a fourth one. I will be back next week to do something I haven't done in about a year, which was an episode of Pop-Up Socks. So I'm working on an episode right now. I'm working on some different things with some people. So I'll have more information on that this week. But yeah, that's it. Josh, Herb, as always, you guys are two of my my podcast idols, and I always appreciate you guys having coming on here with me. So thanks again. Anytime you want to come back, we'll definitely do this again next year. So
my apologies to you, Brian.
All right. Thank you so much. Have a good night, guys.